All right, welcome back, y'all. This is Professor Vincent with another Thursday video, my second one. Very excited. Um, I wanted to let you guys know why I have this on here because when I launched my first video, of course, my mic died. Here, this mic died. Um, and I had to make another video. And guess what happened just now? I just recorded a nice 20-minute video and it was amazing. And guess what happened? The exact same thing. My mic died halfway through the video. And so we're here again making another video because the mic keeps dying. So loving it. The business is doing great. It's kicking me in the butt, but we are pursuing what we want to do. But let's get into the video. Today, wanted to share where everything is at on the sealed side, right? What we do here at on this channel is we go over sealed product, right? We believe, or I believe, that sealed product does better over time than the cards in the sets, right? In the sets, the cards don't have an MSRP, and the booster boxes do, and we can basically tell the price of the box over time because of supply and demand. So, supply and demand says once supply starts shortening, um, usually the price starts going because either demand stays the same or demand is lower and people don't want sets, right? But what we know about the total value of the set compared to the cards is that the community, the people, get to decide what they believe the cards are, right? And the boxes reflect that. So let's start here with Evolving Skies at good old $6,374.54 for the total value of the set, right? This is huge, right? Do we think this is a play for right now? It could be. I definitely think it could be. Um, they the total value usually correlates with the booster box and or ETB, right? And so it's usually around 1/4 of the total value of the set, which I have seen in the start. But as it ages, the booster box slowly starts creeping at the total value of the set, right? So this is why you want to be in the total, be in sets that have a total value at the maximum or the highest total value of the set, right? Because that means the boxes can continue to appreciate because they're going to keep getting closer and closer to that total value since more people enjoy the cards that are in the set, so they want to see those cards, and so they're going to continue to rip those boxes, right? So I like to keep this as just an example of what a top value set does in overtime, right? Which we will continue to look at Evolving Skies and base things off of how that's doing, right? But this is where we are mainly touching and mainly wanting to be around, right? We want to be around the more newer sets because of the growth that can happen, right? The boxes are cheaper, so they're easier to get into when you hold, right? So over time, if you're in a good set, the value of the boxes will increase as the set increases and or ages, right? So let's break this down, right? One I'm going to talk about is Destined Rivals, how it is continuing to drop, right? We will go over to Destined Rivals. Shout out to Data, by the way, because I actually really enjoy using their services. But not subscribed, but definitely just enjoy using um, what they have. Let's take a look at the set, right? A lot of the cards have been dropping. Not sure why. I think these are really interesting cards, but we're losing value, right? We're playing the numbers game. We're not playing emotions, so we're gonna head back to it, right? What's happening is the set's dropping, right? There's nothing we can do about it. We are one person. We I am not able to change the value of the sets, right? I can only go off of the numbers that I get to see. So, by playing the logistics game, we get to see what is happening here, right? Um, is $408 worth the value of the set? Let's take a look at Mega Evolutions. Let's look at the total value here. 28.73 and 81 cents. That's pretty high for a booster box set. We haven't had one of those in we haven't had that since Evolving Skies. We have not had a booster box staying over 2000 except for Destin Rivals. It was at like 2200 for a while. Well, not a while, probably like 2 months, right? So we will continue to see how Mega Evolutions is going to do, but like I said, one of the highest booster boxes to release out of the set, the total value of the set, right? So we're going to continue to watch this, and I currently am buying the booster boxes of this, right? Because do I agree with these numbers for Destin Rivals at 1654 and it costs $408 for a booster box? Or we have a Mega Evolution set, which is the best base set box to release in any set overall. This is the number one new set release base set box to ever release, right? And I personally think people are overlooking that. They usually know that base set boxes aren't doing well, but let's take a look at the base set values here, right? They're terrible. They're usually the worst, right? So I would assume people would believe that they probably don't think it's that great at all, right? But we're not playing by emotions here. We're not playing by that. We're playing by the logistics of how it is, how the numbers look, right? And the numbers are great. The numbers look phenomenal. So we are buying booster boxes of Mega Evolutions when, of course, we want to have deals, right? We're buying things when we get deals, right? But we want to make sure that we know which sets are going to be best to long-term hold, right? That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is buying boxes, holding, selling when gains hit, right? It's dependent on you to decide when you want to sell things, right? If you're buying things at $100 and you're only holding things for 2 months and you're not seeing any gains and you're selling, then guess what? Your sell window is between 70% and 90%, right? So the point is to not sell, right? Because if you're not holding for long enough, you're losing money because you're going to sell at a loss, right? Unless you're getting things at MSRP and or going to the stores and somehow getting a bunch of product, right? Which most stores only have a limit of buying like 2 items, right? So you're not going to be able to get a bunch of these to continue to grow and have growth at the MSRP, right? Obviously, you want to, buy some and buy some at MSRP, get some at the market price, and cost have your cost basis on that, right? So that is the ideally what you want to do, but you want to know why. Why are you buying this so you're going to hold it, right? So we're going to play logistics here. We're going to look at prismatic evolutions. Let's see this total value of the set, right? The second highest total value within the past 5 years, right? This is why this is got buy, because it is the cheapest right now than it will ever be, right? It is still in print. People know it's a great set. People really like evolutions. Guess what? The other set that is above it is an evolution set, right? This is the second one. So I believe this number will continue to go up because of just that. It has evolutions in it. You can pull a god pack from it. It has first Master Ball set English Pokemon has ever seen. Phenomenal. And this thing came out the gate at 8,000, right? Do I think it has potential to continue to grow as a set for the total value? For sure. For sure. We're going to give it time, right? So it's settled. This is where it's settled at 4,228, which is great numbers. That is what we want to see. And so this is the number one buy, right? Because we're going off of the numbers and we see the total value of the set sitting at 4,280 or $4,228.31, right? The best value, the ETB, is at 116, right? I correlate Prismatic near how 151 will do, right? On popularity, on how people like the set, how people enjoy the cards. I think they are fairly similar, right? But the main difference is this, the total values. Of 151 is $1,215.90. Prismatic is 3.4% better than 151. So do I think the ETBs are going to hit 500 in a year? Probably not. Probably not. But if it performs anything similar to the ETB, we're going to 3x our money in 1 year, right? That's what we want to do. We want to 3x our money in 1 year. That is phenomenal gains. This is why I'm buying it. Because I believe there's going to be a 3x on Prismatic Evolution's ETBs, right? So why am I not investing or talk about bundles, right? I've tested this, and I held bundles for a really long time because easier to hold, a lot cheaper, entry price. But since the Pokemon company can mass produce these smaller items, and so it can get out to more and more people, that means that the product isn't going to grow as fast because there's an abundance of them, right? So this is why holding the bigger product is always the way to go if you are going to hold it for a long period of time, right? Long period of time to me means at least 2 years, right? We are going to want to hold for 2 years and then reevaluate then, right? Because that's when, if you buy it at the release time, then in 2 years the boxes and or the set are not going to be printed anymore, which is what you want, right? Because then you're going to see those gains, right? The boxes, people know this set. Hey, this set is not going to be printed anymore. You will not be able to get it at MSRP because it's not going to be in the stores anymore. So the only place to get it is at card shows online. And guess what? They're not selling it for MSRP. No one's selling for MSRP on the secondary market, right? So you're gonna have to get it at market price, right? And so they all the prices will start to slowly increase because there's nothing else that there's nowhere else you can buy it, right? There's no big stores that are selling it because they have the newest sets coming out, right? They're going to continue to keep the new stuff flowing and go from there, right? And so if you can pick up Prismatic Evolutions at MSRP, 100%, 100%, I agree, you should buy it. And or I'm going to buy it, right? Um, But now let's talk about the Black Bolt and White Flare, right? For some reason I've been seeing that the total value of the sets are doing the best that are in um, the specialty sets, right? The ones that don't have a booster box, right? That's what we've seen for the past year now. Is Prismatics doing great, Black Bolt and White Flare phenomenal, and they snuck in Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions, I really think people are sleeping on it, and I really think people are forgetting about Black Bolt and White Flare. I think it's getting forgotten, but people don't realize what they're looking at, right? Most people aren't looking at these numbers, right? They just enjoy Pokemon for what it is, what they look like, and that's it, right? They just want to open it, and they have a cool artwork on a card, and they really want to pull it, and so they'll continue to buy it, right? But we want to sell to those people, We want to sell to those people who want to buy the product so they can rip it. And guess what? Over time, the more people that keep ripping, the better the price of the boxes are going to be, which in return helps people like me when we just sit and hold, right? I don't rip any packs. Um, I just don't rip. It's just not something that I do. I've taken the emotions out of it, and I know ripping is very fun. It is the fun thing to do, but this is not why I am here for Pokemon, right? I can just buy the card if I truly want to have the card, right? But Black Bolt and White Flare, I don't know if it was that not many people were collecting during that time, or there was just people forgot how good the set is going. But I really think and believe that people are forgetting that this is a good set, right? The total values are amazing for the Black Bolt and White Flare. There's a bunch of cards into it, which could be a reason why that it's so high. But these numbers are making sense, right? These numbers make sense for people not thinking it's a great set and or they're near all the other ones, right? But guess what? These prices, if these prices are the same, let's go back to how all of the specialty sets do a lot better than the normal sets, right? Celebrations, Crown Zenith, they all have insane gains here because they only have ETBs in general. So these are good. I would rather have the ETBs of Black Bolt and White Flare rather than the Mega Evolutions. But we're going to buy the booster box because, like I said earlier, holding the bigger products is better because Pokemon doesn't want to continue to print the bigger boxes, right? Which also increases the prices of them over time because they can get out a bunch more smaller product to more people, which will satisfy more people, right? And it keeps businesses going because they can continue to make smaller products that, smaller businesses can buy and more people can enjoy them, right? So this is the breakdown. We got Prismatic at number one on the buy list. Mega Evolution's definitely number two, and then Black Bolt White Flare. These are the ones that are on my list to watch for and buy for when there are good deals out there. Good deals are if you can buy things at 80 to 90%, you are doing phenomenal. I think that is a good margin to buy things at, and I think most people will sell in those ranges, right? If you're a vendor, you can probably get this near the 70 to 80% on when you're buying things because you just have the backing of being a vendor and you can say, I have to run my business, I have to take care of my family. There's things that go in place on why you have to do things. But those are my buy boxes right now. We are wanting to hold those because we are playing again the total value of the set game, right? We're playing the math, we're playing the numbers, and that is why logistics will succeed better than the emotions of just having everything, right? uh, like I could be diverse and have just one of each, right? But why do that when I know that these are going to grow exponentially more than the other sets, right? So, do I believe um, in diversity? For sure. For sure. We want to be diverse and have multiple things to protect yourself. But when you know why to invest into things like this, like we're doing math, it makes sense to not diversify as much because you know what is going to do better over time. But I'll leave you guys at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was a pleasure. Feel free to leave a comment and or like on the video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know what you guys think is is right. What do you think is going to happen here soon, and or what are you investing in? I want to know why you guys are holding some boxes and give me a breakdown of what you're doing. But thank you guys so much. You guys take care.